Hi, I'm Vanessa Marquette here at the Institute for Veterans and Military Families at Syracuse University. This is What's Brewin. Today with me, I have Kathleen and Alaina from scDataCom here to talk about their recent success and also to talk about why hiring veterans and military spouses is so important ahead of Hire a Veteran Day on July 25th. Thank you both for joining us today.
Great to be here.
Yes.
So do you want to start off by telling us about yourselves, how scDataCom got started, your military background, the business and community you serve, and also your most recent award, which is really exciting?
It is very exciting. I'll start off and then I'll hand it off to Alaina. I'm Kathleen. We are, in fact, a mother-daughter duo that runs this company, scDataCom. My background was 26 years on active duty in the Army, serving as an Army Nurse Corps officer. So a little bit different than this chapter, post-retirement chapter for me, but I thank my daughter for that. She had a vision and started scDataCom in 2013 after she graduated from college, and looped me in 2014, finding a need for the experience and strategic talent she thought I had that she needed. So I jumped in with her at that point, and we've been running ever since. Alaina, you can maybe talk a little bit about the community we serve.
We do a lot of work with federal customers, so it gives us a really fun opportunity to work with the veteran community, both with partners and customers alike, which is really rewarding for a lifetime Army brat and 26-year service veteran. We, talk the talk, and it's really nice to be able to walk the walk and add value to those organizations that have been so impactful to our lives. And we were recently honored as the 2021 Installer of the Year through the SAMI Awards, which is a industry award that probably no one that's not an integrator is familiar with, but it's a really big deal in our industry. We're really excited about it. It's like the security industry's version of the Oscars. And so we were chosen as the Installer of the Year, which is the biggest category.
Yeah, that's so exciting. And congratulations again on that, and happy to share your success with everybody watching. So with National Hire a Veteran Day coming up, can you tell us why it's important for these types of organizations to hire veterans, and why it's so important to hire veterans for the skills they obtain through military service?
The one that's probably the nearest and dearest to our heart, and also the largest revenue producer for us, is the Department of Veterans Affairs. But in regard to why those agencies, and really any agency, should hire a veteran, I can't think of a better place to find rich quality than in the veteran community. I do have a bias, having spent most of my professional career in uniform, but I think to a person, and Alaina's probably evidence of that herself. Alaina's a 26-year Army brat. I had her on active duty, and she served with me the entire time as we moved from state to state to state, and that gives the military family members and the military veterans themselves a level of agility, adaptability, and I want to say ability to get things done in an ambiguous environment. And certainly running a business requires that, so we seek that for our own employees. But I think that any employer would benefit from those attributes that they will find in a military service member or veteran.
It's been a unique thing for me to see as an adult. A lot of the skills, the soft skills that I learned as a kid, are applicable to a business environment and have probably helped make me successful. When you move around so often and you're thrust into new environments, you have a tolerance and appetite for change and challenge that a lot of people don't have. And so that's been really helpful to me. We have several military family members, children and spouses on staff that definitely exemplify that. So I got to learn that it wasn't me, it was the military that helped shape that. And then for service members, like Kathleen said, they just have a higher bar. They're used to working harder as part of a larger mission, and we're delighted to be able to be their new mission. To have those efforts go towards our company is really wonderful.
Very well said. Thank you. So Kathleen, as a veteran yourself, what does doing business with other military organizations mean to you? And then also Alaina, I guess, as a military child too, what does that mean to you to kind of work with them and see the military service you guys have had, and now you're bringing it to life with other organizations?
For me, it's a coming home and a giving back. When I walk into a veteran facility, a VA, to do a site walk for a camera project we're doing for them, I feel like I'm coming home. The veterans that are roaming the walls, the contracting officer who is a civilian but likely is a veteran as well. Every person at every level in the organization kind of feels like home to me. I'm very familiar with what their background is and what service means. So it feels good. It feels good to be able to give back in our small way, a different way. As I said, my life in the Army was in healthcare. I was a nurse corps officer. So it's kind of funny going into a veterans facility, usually a healthcare center, and I'm on a completely different end of the spectrum, but yet still providing valid services that hopefully improve quality of life. So it feels good. It feels like a give back that I welcome. And our non-veteran staff, which is less than 50%, but we still have a number of them, they seem equally proud to provide services in those facilities, DOD and VA. It gives them a sense of pride somehow to be delivering services to that community. So that feels good too, that even though it's extremely close to home for me and for Alaina, it seems as well to resonate with all our staff. So I like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Everyone is very proud to be doing the work that they're doing. It does lend a little bit more gravitas to say that you're installing cameras in support of a secure military base, but it's a really cool feather in the cap for a lot of our technicians. And then they get to, again, have that mission mindset where they really see the positive impact of what they're doing. They're helping to secure the people that secure our nation or protect the well-being of our veterans. So that's really cool. And then I didn't realize this when we started, but it's been a pleasant surprise or maybe subconscious leaning, but doing so much federal work and getting to interact with those military people, not only doing installations for those agencies, but like Kathleen said, talking to the contracting officers, the people on site at the installs, the other organizations that are veteran owned. It really does feel like a homecoming. I didn't realize how much I missed being surrounded by those kinds of people, but you really do. And with the military, you move around so much. I've had multiple instances where I've run into people that I've known from a decade ago on site.
So if you could give advice to a veteran, military spouse, military child, transitioning service member, anyone military connected who's looking for a job or wanting to start a business, what's some advice you would recommend to them?
Well, I'll start, and Alaina, I'm sure, has a different point of view, but I would say what I've learned over the last 7 or 8 years is that it's way harder than I anticipated it was going to be. So my advice, therefore, would be reach out early and often. And there are so many resources. IVMF has been absolutely essential to our business growth at all levels. So it took me, we were in business for 2 years before I did my first reach out to IVMF, and that was at the EY's conference. And it just light bulbs were going off in my head. So my advice would be reach out early, reach out often. As you scale, you're going to need another reach out at a different level for different resources. There are a lot of people out there trying to do what you may be trying to do. And if you're not trying to start a business, but maybe just get your foot in the door on a new career after the Army, likewise, there are resources for that too, the Onward to Opportunity, or many others out there that can really help you. So you're not alone. There are many resources. They won't come looking for you. You have to go looking for them. But they just are gracious beyond all measure with the offerings once you tap in.
Yeah.
How about you, Alaina?
I don't disagree with what you said, Mom, but on that, I think that if anyone, this applies to anyone, is thinking about starting a business because they have the new latest and greatest that the world has never seen, probably not. You're probably not thinking of something that doesn't yet exist. But that doesn't matter. There can be more than one. You can do it better. You can do it for a different audience. Just because it exists doesn't mean you shouldn't pursue it. But don't be surprised if there's competitors out there. Business is extremely hard. And if I'd known how hard it was when I started, I probably wouldn't have started. It was only just naivety and bullheaded determination that got me through that first year until my mom was on board with me. And so that's really my biggest piece of advice is find your battle buddy. She's my battle buddy. I mean, it's helpful to have a business partner who also loves you unconditionally, because there are definitely some ugly moments, and no one can not be scared by you ugly crying because you're stressed, or cheer on the littlest success, like your mom. But a business partner will do that for you as well. Find your network, find your battle buddy, find someone that's smart in the ways that you aren't, and know that you're smart in ways that other people aren't.
Thank you both for sharing that with us.